Before we start, I'd just like to say sorry for the voiceover. The microphone wasn't working on the day. So, today we're going to be working on this 1998 Hyundai XL, painting the wiper arms. The reason we're doing this is they're old, they look terrible, they need a new coat of paint to make the car pop again. So first you're going to get up some newspaper, some cardboard, something else, just something to cover your windscreen and your bonnet. Why we're doing this is because when you spray, not everything's going to land where you're aiming. Some's going to spray around and you don't want overspray landing on your paintwork, your body, anywhere, or even more importantly, your windscreen. So just grab some newspaper, coat it around, make sure that it's all covered. When I say all covered, I also mean both sides, as when you're working, paint doesn't go where you're aiming. Paint sprays out in a pattern. So some may travel further than where you're aiming, so make sure your entire windscreen's covered, no matter what side of the body you're working on. Both wiper arms need to be covered over and just paint through there. Next, I'd recommend getting some 240 grit sandpaper. This sandpaper isn't too coarse, isn't too rough, it's just fine. It's fine enough that it'll cut through without leaving too big of a scratch, meaning you'll have to go back with the less coarse sandpaper and fine it all up. So what you do is you just take your sandpaper and scrub off all the corrosion. What you're doing here is basically just getting rid of the rust, the corrosion, and giving somewhere for the paint to stick to. The important part about this is the better you prep, the better you paint, meaning that the more work you put into your paintwork, the better your paintwork will turn out when it's done. Next, you want to shake up your can. You do this just to get the paint all loosened and spray out in one even spray. You want to do short, quick bursts in light coats, do 2 to 3 coats, and wait 10 minutes in between coats. This just allows the paint to dry and to cure better. As you can see, paint turns out pretty good. It's not the best, I probably could have spent a bit more time on the prep work, but it works. It's good. Now this entire project cost a whopping total of $4.65. That is for one can of paint and your sandpaper. It also took probably about half an hour, most of which time was spent prepping and making sure that you weren't going to overspray.